Hey y'all, this is Dwayne. Welcome back to the shop, or Hoarders R Us. It's more like it. Y'all ain't gonna believe this, but I actually made some headway in here. I have went through stuff, and I've actually can see some concrete. I got a long way to go, but there's plenty of time to get there, you know. But let's see. Last Thursday, I made the last video, and I went to. I made the video. I left, went back to the house because I still can't get Wi-Fi out here. I bought one of those Wi-Fi extenders, and I put it over in my garage, which ain't 25 yards away. I can stand in there, my phone, it gets full signal. Walk 25 yards over here. I got it, walk in the door, it vanishes. I don't know. I talked to the IT guys that work some more. But anyway, I don't know why I got off on that. Oh, I had left, went over there to upload a video last Thursday. I come back over here after I got a video and uploaded Thursday night, worked in here. And I was in here about 2:30 in the morning, I heard sirens. And I didn't think nothing about it, you know. Actually, I just mumbled a prayer. I mean, that's basically what I did. I ain't gonna lie. I just, you know, Lord, just help whoever it is. Or I said a prayer. I guess that's not mumbling, but anyway, I stayed in here another 30 minutes. I was tired. I was ready to go to bed. Opened the door, and all I seen was red lights. Like, what in the world? They was off to my right, and I looked to the left. Sky was lit up orange, and there's an old farmhouse that sits over behind our subdivision. It is 100-some years old. The whole roof was up in flames. I mean, it was roaring, and that thing it burnt down. They lost completely everything. It's nothing but what few brick walls that hasn't fell in. That old house. And I went out there. It was cold that night. It was one of that night when I think it was the night after the ice storm. So it was freezing, and I stood out there in the street for about 30 minutes, just dressed like I am now. I think I had this same hoodie on. And I was watching firemen. I used to be a fireman or firefighter. I was a captain when I left the fire department, and I was sitting there, you know, in my mind was, it just automatically come right back to me. Okay, you know, we need this set up here, that, you know. And number one, the whole roof is on fire. It's not coming out the windows, but it's coming out the eaves, and part of the roof is done collapsed in. And I'm like, can't go in the second floor because the ceiling, everything, all that could collapse in on you. It's dangerous. And it's one of them old houses, you know, 12-foot tall ceilings, because I went in there when they had an estate sale years ago, walked around, and there's, you know, so that makes the roof line 30 foot or more up in the air. And you're out there, and it's zero outside. You're trying to climb a ladder 30-some foot up in the air with a hose, and you're freezing, and it's just it was a bad night. And I've been there before. I've been there more than once. And cold, freezing nights. I mean, I've seen the fire hoses freeze up, you know, just come out in slush instead of a spray. It's miserable, it's awful, but I hate it that they lost their house and all that, but yeah, that was different. Well, not different, but that was bad, sad. But anyway, yeah, come back the next night, started working in here, thought about filming, and I was like, man, I went through 7 or 8 cardboard boxes full of mixed nails and screws. I've had nails. I found buckets of nails that my dad had back when I was a kid. I mean, auctions that we went to that we've got nails and stuff from, and I really didn't go through all of them. I just kind of put them. I went over and cleared the shelf off on the other side and stuck them on. And I'm telling you, that shelf is sagging now. It's got a lot of weight on it. But I went through like sacks. It's like these right here. Old bluegrass paper bags that was full of nails. How many of y'all remember going to the hardware store and telling the guy, you know, I need 3 pounds of 16s penny nails, and I need 5 pounds of number 8 penny nails, and everything was pennies back then. I never really understood all that, but they would get the bag out and scoop them up, put them in the bag, set it on that scale, and they'd either shake some more in or shake a few out, and, you know, you bought them by the pound. So we got a lot of these bags. It even has it on there. I don't know if you can see that. It says nail bag from Belknap Hardware, Bluegrass. So these was all full of nails that come from a state down the road. I remember going to it, and there's actually a lady I know. She was bidding against me. I finally quit. I was like, sheesh. So, I mean, we was standing right close to each other. Actually, her son lives up the street. She come over and said, what do you want now, then? I said, I just want that box of nails, that bags of nails. She's like, well, you can have them things. I don't want them. Like, okay, you know, so I got them all free. Like I say, it's still, some of these bags are pretty bad shape, but some of them are pretty good. I might try to get me an iron. See if I can't just mist them with a little bit of water, iron them so I can get them back flat, or either that, try to get them like this, get them flat as I can, and just put them in between some kind of weight, put some books on them or something, see if it'll flatten them back out, you know. Because this ain't bad, but then, you know, I got other ones like this that are really tore up. This one's a whole lot thinner. But still, you know, it's pretty cool. They don't make them anymore. But yeah, so I went through bags, boxes, boxes. I spent 3 days going through nails, screws, staples, and my dad had 4 boxes full of picture frames. And I didn't tarry too long with things. I did wind up with the one good box. They was pretty decent picture frame. A lot of them were just old, they was broke, rusted. They looked awful. It was just stuff he picked up at flea markets, state sales. For some odd reason, he kept all them picture frames. And I told him the other day, I said, I'm getting rid of them things. They just take up a lot of room. I wound up with one box of decent frames. I got them out in the Tahoe. I'm going to take them to Salvation Army. But yeah, that's all I've done. There ain't nothing exciting about going through nails and picture frames. But the pile has shrunk a lot, and I'll show you that here in a second. I have gotten a few things in this week, and I got one thing that I need to talk to y'all about, because I really don't know what to do. But in the mail, on eBay, this popped up the other day. It's a Duralock A case knife box. There's no knife in it. This comes from, I think it was Chandler, Arizona, but it does have the sheath. It has that case. It's a brand new sheath, never been used. It's in good shape too. It's better shape than some of the other ones I got. So I was happy to find that. I'll put that in with my other Duralock Pro Lock knives, and hopefully get this back here where I can start getting some of my knives and stuff over here. I got that in the mail. I got this in the mail. K-bar, made in the USA. So this is, slide it out of the sleeve. So you got K-bar on the box. No writing else other than come from New York. It's got paperwork in it. It's got a nice little poster. Here's the knife. I like K-bar. See K-bar on the back. There is the knife. It's BK18. See that blade there. Pretty cool find. Here a while back I got on a kick looking at a lot of fixed blades, and actually I got another one coming in if the post office will ever deliver them. And I'm about tired of the post office. If you work for the post office, I apologize, but man, I ain't getting nothing. I've got about 10 packages that needs to get here, and they've been shipped for 2 or 3 weeks, and I look up, it says they're delayed because of storm. Well, the storm was last week, you know, it's a week ago, it's over, you know. Send our stuff to us. It all says it's in Lexington, storm delayed. I don't know where it's lost at. It's sad. I mean, they're going to have to do something. They're going to have to regroup. Figure out something new. I don't know. But here's my dilemma. I bought this thing here a while back. It's a case knife, Trapper, 54 pattern. The trouble is, it's broke. Somebody's dropped it, busted the handle, as you can see. So, this is a 1996 knife. You can see it's been used. Somebody's cut tape with it. That's what it looks like. There's a stamp, USA, there's 6 dots on it. That would make it a 94, wouldn't it? Yeah, there's 6 dots. So I guess it's 94. What year did they stop putting the dates? It's somewhere back in, but anyway. I thought I would try out the case's warranties. Actually, I just want to see if they fix the back. But there's something different about this knife. If you look at the tang stamp there, you'll see it's an I-254 SS Super Sport model. That I stands for Ivory. This has ivory scales on it. Now, you tell me, is that real ivory or is this fake? Because when I look up the eye, it comes up ivory / imitation ivory. How do you tell the difference between ivory and fake ivory? Now this backside, I know this camera, it's cheap tablet, it ain't gonna show. That's solid white, I mean, or ivory color, it's solid. But this front one, I can see lines in it. There's like it's a really faint gray line, and they're about 1 millimeter apart. So I don't know nothing about ivory. Does when an elephant's tusk grow out, does it have growth rings as it gets bigger? I don't know. They don't shed them like deer. I don't know if you can see it or not. Probably not. Like I said, camera's not the best. But there's, I said, they're about a millimeter apart. There's a little faint gray line through there, just line after line after line, the whole length of this scale. They're a millimeter apart. And you can't tell it on the back at all, but the front you can. So that's got me thinking, is this real ivory or fake ivory? I mean, I don't know. Now, I read online to tell the difference. They said take a needle and get it red hot and stick it in it. If it melts in it, it's plastic. If it don't melt in it, if it sticks, you know, don't go in at all, it's either real ivory or bone. So anyway, here's the kick. I sent pictures. I did all my paperwork. I did it back. It's been a while back, and I sent it to Case. Thought, you know, I done the buck warranty. That was excellent. I mean, you cannot. I don't know. So far, you can't beat buck. I mean, if you got a buck knife and needs fixed, yeah, send it to them. They'll take care of it. I've heard people talk good things about Case. And actually, I had this knife sitting in the house for a few weeks. I finally told my wife, like, I'm just going to put this thing back up because they ain't going to answer me. I give up on them, honestly. But last week, I got an email from Case, finally. And I'm thinking I sent that in way back in November. So practically almost 2 months, a month and a half, 2 months, they finally come back and told me, like, there's a problem because they don't have ivory scales. They cannot repair this knife because they don't have ivory scales anymore. Now, they didn't say if it was ivory or fake ivory, but they just said they didn't have ivory scales. So here's what they give me. They give me 3 options for this knife. One, I can send it back to them, and they'll give me a $150 store credit from their knives online, which I'm thinking stag knife, you know. Ivory's alright, stag's a whole lot better for me. I love stag. Ivory, you know, if I was to walk in a cutlery store tomorrow and they had an ivory knife there and a stag knife, I would buy the stag knife. I wouldn't even think about the ivory. But then as I got this thing, I can send this to them and they'll give me a $150 store credit. I can use it anytime. It don't expire. So I can save that for the whole year till something pops up there that I really like. Or I told my wife, I was like, $150, I could about get 2 Sidebuster Juniors because I love them too. And I've been trying to get different colors of them. I could get 2 of them. So that's option A. Option B is I keep the knife and they'll send me a free yellow synthetic 54 Trapper. Free. I keep this knife and get the free synthetic Trapper. Option C is I can send this knife in and they'll rescale it or put new scales, new handles on, made out of bone. So I got 3 options, and I need to make my mind up because it's been 10 days since they emailed me. I need to come up with a decision. But if it's real ivory, I mean, I don't really care about ivory. It's not my thing, honestly. I mean, it's neat to have because, you know, just for a case collector, just have a case knife, the ivory, you know. if I was to buy an ivory knife, I probably never would have carried it. That way you wouldn't have dropped it. I mean, the bolsters are scratched. It's been used. And that makes me think, surely this ain't real ivory. Who would go spend what, and they don't tell them what kind of money that would have costed if it was real ivory and somebody just told it. I mean, I don't know. That's just not me. But then again, some people would go spend $200 or $300 on a knife and just drop it in their pocket. So I don't know. I don't have a lighter over here. I was going to get me a small finishing nail and I was going to heat her up, stick it in around this cracker and see if it could go in it or not. So I'll probably do that tomorrow. It's already almost 3 o'clock in the morning now. But yeah, I don't know. I got to make my mind up and do something tomorrow. So I don't know. It's it's a hard decision. You know, it's cool, but if it's real ivory, yeah, I'd probably just keep it and get the free synthetic knife and be happy with that. But like I said, that $150 store credit, I could buy me a stag knife. I could add a little bit to it and get a stag with Damascus blades. That would be really neat. But that's my dilemma. There's my case dilemma. And I don't know. I really don't know what to. I ain't made my mind up. But I need to make my mind up. I can't just let it keep going on. But anyway, that's about all that's been going on. I'm going to show you some things here. I'm going to show you the pile. Now, as you can see, the mountain behind me has shrunk. It's down to basically that. Maybe a box or two deep. And that's all. If you remember, I was coming in the door, turning sideways, and getting to where I'm standing now, because that's the only place I had cleared out. That stuff, that whole stack there is my wood carving stuff. That bag and all that is just empty containers, which I've been using several of. What I don't use when I get done in here, I'll just tie that bag up and get rid of them. The box underneath is full, I mean completely full of magazines. It's either, most of them are wood carving magazines, some of them are just plain woodworking magazines. But like I say, I got concrete. I can walk around in here, and I'm going to go through some of these boxes to show you some of the stuff I found, because there's some stuff in there that's pretty neat. Y'all excuse me here, but say this just an old tackle box, got nuts and bolts in it. There's a box of braces, which braces are braces. This one's kind of neat. Most people ain't never seen one like this. It's just ratchets, like a, well, it's a ratchet, kind of a ratchet brace. I don't really know the names of it, but it's pretty cool. I don't know if it's got a, I'm sure it's got a name on it here. It is a Skinner. I don't know if you can see that. It ain't gonna focus on it. It says it's a Skinner brand, who are made at Sheffield, England. So that's an English brace. But that box back there is full of calendars, catalogs, and what have you. And I want to open that up. There's a few things in there I think y'all might like to see. So let me put you down here. This is just an old nail apron. Y'all have seen it before, advertising Sergeant Paints. I hope it's showing up. Yep. And it came from, for anybody who might live that way, C.A. Rayburn and Sons, Building Supplies, Lawton, Kentucky. And I have no idea where Lawton, Kentucky is. Never heard of it till I bought this apron. Like I say, my dad, he collected. This box, it has, that's not old, it's 97 calendar. There's an old tin ashtray. Come from the Danville Automotive Supplies. Phone 1342. It's just one of them old cheap tin ashtrays. There's a couple more calendars. This one's for Columbian Gulf, 1988. Was never used. And then here's an old one. This is from the Farmer's Supply Store, 1954, Nicholasville. Pretty cool old calendars that never was used. We've got several of these. The Kentucky Farmer magazines from August 1958, and they're advertising the Kentucky Fair in here. It's pretty neat. It's got a lot of old advertisements and stuff in there. Might be something in there about pocket knives. I have no idea. Them old magazines are pretty cool. There's a lot of little stuff in here. Here's a thing from Northern Fur Company. You would get these in the mail, and there's the back of the envelope. But then here's their guide, how you tag you fill out your slip for your hides that you're going to mail into them to sell. But the rest of this box is basically a bunch of old. There's a Chevron, there's an Ashland, maps. So that's basically that box there. This next box. Cool stuff in it. This cardboard box, I know y'all can't see it. Here is a 1989 JCPenney catalog at Christmas time. Which are pretty neat to, you know, look there. Camcorder on sale, $850. Huh. Look at that stereo system. Boy, I'd love to have that back in. $1,000 for that stereo system over there. There's some power wheels. This is a Christmas, so there's the little kids dress up football. Some of the 80s fashions there. It's pretty neat. Old Christmas catalog from the 80s. Then around here we had, which I loved them. I wish we still had them. Metro Piston magazine. It cost it $1. But this is where everybody, of course, you didn't have no internet back then. You know, wasn't getting on the computer. This is where everybody put their cars for sale around here. And there's a 85 O's 442, $7,500. It'll ever have anything in here. I know I seen a 70 Dodge Charger in here the other day. Here's a 73 Ford Mach 1 Mustang. Asking $800 for it. Wouldn't you like to have that now? But there's a dirt track car, 79 Camaro, wanting $1,300 for it. Down there at the bottom's a 67 Camaro Pro Street. Don't see no price on it. It's pretty neat, some of the old cars that's in here. There's a 81 Camaro Z28, $6,800. But it's pretty cool to sit here and look at all these old cars. Not only do I have that one, but I got the pickups. Pickup trucks. Look at these full-size Blazers. Get a 79 Chevy Blazer, $4,000, all lifted in the air. There's a 89, it's $15,900. Well, there's a 77 Ford pickup truck for $600. Man, you can't buy nothing today for. I've been looking for just a beater S10, that Ford Ranger, anything just runs. It's got a stick in it, just so we can teach my kids to drive stick shifts. And man, 2000, it's 2000 and up basically. There's a 77 Chevy Suburban for $980. We got an 84 Chevy 4x4 for $6,500. It's pretty good shape. 79 Ford F250 4x4, 400 engine, asking $3,000. So it's pretty cool looking through these old car books. How many of y'all remember the old J.C. Whitney catalogs? I still got one of them too. You order all your parts and stuff from J.C. Whitney. We can also look up the TV guide. How many of y'all remember the TV guides? This is from September the 9th, 1989. I'm not doing a very good job of showing y'all this stuff, am I? Let's see what was on Saturday evening. Alright. So 18 would have been NBC. 7 o'clock we had the Beach Boys, Endless Summer. Then 227 and Amen right after that. Then Golden Girls, Empty Nest, and 10 o'clock Hunter came on. So on 27 at 7 o'clock we had Hee Haw. Then Woodstock. Then at 9 o'clock was Tour Duty. I loved watching that. Then 36 was ABC. We had Wheel of Fortune, Fight Back, then Mr. Belvedere, Camp California, and BL Striker. So that was kind of your major. Let's see what HBO had going on. Saturday night HBO movie was big. Max was the Deadpool. See all that. Anyway, yep. That's Carlton cigarettes. bunch of books here on the Maccabees. Y'all know what the Maccabees are. But I did notice this. I'll show you this one catalog and we'll move on. 1963 Montgomery Ward catalog. I believe this comes from my grandmother. $9.95. Get you some stuff here, but there's your sample of sporting goods from 1963. There you get a ball glove, a book, and a baseball for $3.44. Go-karts, $119. Which probably that was a lot of money back then. There's some tools and car parts, shower stalls. There's some tools from back in the day. There's some wrenches, Craft. Them hatchets and axes. I mean, all the stuff we got in here you can still buy in the 60s. Let's see what this double bit axe here is. Number 29, it was $6.49 you could bought you a brand new double bit axe. 33 is a hewing hatchet. It was $4.72 for a brand new hewing hatchet. So, look at here. Pocket knives. There's the pocket knives back in the day, 1963. You can pause that and you can see what kind of knife it was. These are all Ward knives and how much they cost. Pretty cool. Pretty funny. Got everything in here. Anyway, old catalogs. We got several things like that around. Anyway, get this stuff put back in here. And we got that. And like I say, we got this whole thing here. This sack's out of the way, but a lot of this stuff here is bluegrass. Got an old bluegrass nail apron. Needs to be washed. That thing is well used. Got a bluegrass bell nap, paint nap. There's a sign for bluegrass hammers. There's like a little aluminum creamer. It's got the bluegrass bell nap emblem on the bottom. This whole box here is basically bluegrass. See the hammer there. That clover emblem, that just lets you know it's bell nap. Now I do have a couple oddballs in here that are not. These are actually king cutter hatchets. There's two of them. As you can see, it's just a bunch of random bell nap hardware stuff. Paint stir sticks, bell nap. it took me and my dad years to find all this stuff. We would go to estate sales, and after estate sales, luckily back in, we would go to, they were still some old hardware stores, mom and pops, and we would catch them going out of business, and that's where you find these, like this brand new bluegrass replacement handle. There's several of them in here, you know, just different handles for, this is for a hedge shear, hedge trimmers, replacement handle. It took a lot of digging, finding to find this stuff. It's like a brand new tape measure, still in the package. There's some stuff here. Let me set this back up. Before cardboard boxes, things were shipped in wooden boxes. So you can see the bluegrass on there. This was files come in this little wooden box. Here's a little wooden box. It was a screen door set. And some of the images for bell nap was the bell had the nap on it. That was another one of their trademark images. But we do have a few things like this. Crucible steel files. And they're all in there. Still in there after all those years. See if I can slide one out. Just a little triangular files. And it's full. It's got all of them in it. So that's a pretty good find. But like I said, me and my dad, we would go to estate sale after estate sale, and you know, we would buy some old guys, all of his, just, you know, we'd buy like the junk out of his building, you know, and then you dig through it and you find something like this, you know. This is bluegrass solder. It's got a little bit left on the spool. There's not much in there. You can see a little bit down in there, but you know, there's a lot of estate sales just to find this one piece. That might have been the only bluegrass we found that whole house. A lot of them we buy kitchen drawer sets out. And, you know, somebody bought these. It's corrugated fasteners. It's a whole box full of them. But it took a lot of searching to find those things. There's something else down here. We got, it's a box full of Belknap catalogs. When I tell you Belknap sold everything, I'm going to show you why I say that. This is a Belknap catalog. Yeah, and I'm out of breath. Right there. So if you owned a store, this is all the stuff that you could order from Belknap. And I just seen cutlery. There's sections in this, as you can see. Right there's their cutlery. So that would be like all your John Primble stuff would be in this section. There's some of their knives. So if you're searching anything bluegrass, which they sold others. So this is Oneida here. I mean, they didn't sell just all their brand stuff. They was the biggest hardware department store supplier going back in the day, as you can see. Oh wait, that thing's heavy. But yeah, it's There's a good look at that book. But I've got, you can see that black shelf back there, those little plastic. I got 5 of them outside, and they're dirty. I wish it was warm enough where I could wash them. They got mud on them. I had them in a black or a greenhouse, and they're dirty from where all the trays sit on them. I'm going to put them in here, and I'm going to set all this stuff. I'm going to put them in here in a row, and all this will be on it where we can look at it. And still got a lot of sorting to go through here. But I almost got this pile. I got it down to the good stuff, I guess you could say. This wash tub belonged to my grandmother. There's some more bluegrass tools. I want to get all this stuff set out so my dad can enjoy it. He can come out here and look and see. And there's the down that bluegrass image, the axe head. There's a mason's hammer, rock hammer, whatever you want to call them. That box there is full of Belknap awards given to them by different people. When they had the finalist sale and they sold everything off, one of my dad's friends got to go to it, and he come back with, I mean, truckloads of stuff. And he bought all that stuff for my dad, because my dad had to work, he couldn't go. But he went up there and bought all kinds of stuff. But yeah, I just need to go through all this. There's a leather vise I made. Take 2 2x4s, glue them together. Then you make you one cut in the middle and cut that inside out, which makes it springy. Just use you a lag bolt and a wing nut. You can tighten it up. Actually, the way that works is you sit your legs across that. It'd be right up against your knees, and you can sit there and have it kind of like in your lap. A homemade thing. But yeah, almost got this section here cleaned, and the next part back there, look, I can even set a chair out. Couldn't do that before. Could barely walk in here. But all those boxes there, that whole pile of stuff is little boys' toolboxes, which I need to go through and see what's in them, see what's complete, what ain't complete. Like that roll of paper there is Belknap, like wrapping paper, like they would wrap stuff in a hardware store. I can make me a few lanyards out of that leather lace. But yeah, we're getting back in here. There's a shaving horse. That's my spoon carving mule, a spoon mule they call them, I made. Slowly but surely working my way back, because once I get back in here, that corner, I'm going to clean all that out. And you see them catalogs back there is all Belknap catalogs. That whole, all that's moving. I think that's where I'm going to put my orange toolbox up against that wall. And beside it, I'm going to put my refrigerator, my coffee pot that I got over there. Be nice to have out here. I got a desk back there. That desk has got a story. My grandparents went to an auction when my dad was little, and my daddy bid on that desk, and they wound up having to buy it because daddy won the bids. They didn't know it. It's an old mission style desk, they call them, but pretty cool. There's a little boy's tool or a workbench. I was going to set up a display with some of these little boy tools and stuff and put all over it. And I got some laying on it. You can see the saw, the little boy's level. The apron hanging off of it is a little boy's tool apron. It's got a vise and all on it, but it's pretty neat. But I got a lot of sorting out to do, straightening up, trying to make this place, like I say, where my dad can come out here and look around, enjoy it for a change, instead of it all being piled up like it is. I want to share a little bit out of the book of Daniel. Now, Daniel was a great prophet in the Old Testament. You've probably heard stories about Daniel in the lion's den, and about the three boys in the fiery furnace. But Daniel prophesied a lot about the end times, and a lot of his prophecies have all been coming true. But I want to refer to this one part, and basically Daniel had prayed to God. And when he said that prayer, he began to fast. And it says, in verse 2, it says, in those days I, Daniel, was mourning 3 full weeks. So that was 21 days he'd been mourning or fasting. Because the next verse it says, I ate no pleasant food, no meat, no wine came to my mouth, nor did I anoint myself at all till the 3 whole weeks were fulfilled. And then he sees this vision, and this man comes to him, which was an angel. And it says in verse 6, his body was like beryl, his face like the appearance of lightning, his eyes like torches of fire, his arms and feet like burnished bronze in color, and the sound of his words were like the voice of a multitude. And Daniel said he was the only one who saw him, and the men that was with him, they could not see him, but they knew something was there, and terror filled them. When God's a strong angel comes in your presence, you're going to know it. So the people fled and left Daniel by himself with this angel. If we read on down here toward the bottom, in verse 11, it says, and he said to me, O Daniel, man greatly beloved, understand the words that I speak to you, and stand upright, for I now have been sent to you. While he was speaking this word to me, I stood trembling. Then he said to me, do not fear, Daniel, for from the first day that you set your heart to understand and to humble yourself before your God, your words were heard, and I have come because of your words. 13, it says, but the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days. And if you read up there, Daniel had been fasting for 21 days. There's a reason for fasting. That's why I was trying to tell you in the last video. It's important that we learn to fast and fast properly, it's for a reason. So Daniel had been fasting. He had prayed a prayer and set the fasting and waited for God's answer to this prayer. But the angel, God heard his prayer as soon as he said it. Okay, when you pray, God listens. And God sent that angel with his answer immediately. He took off. But in between heaven and earth is the firmament. And if you study your Bible, that's where the devil and the demons and all that rule, is the firmament that's in between us and God. So this angel was trying to break through the firmament. And it says, the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood him for 21 days. And behold, Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me. For I had been left alone there with the kings of Persia. It says kings, it's plural. So we had one against many. And they was trying to block, they knew what was going on. The next verse it goes on and says, now I've come to make you understand what will happen to your people in the latter days. When you pray, your prayers go to God. God hears our prayers. But a lot of times we wonder, why ain't God doing this? Why ain't God moved? Why ain't he answered our prayers? Well, sometimes your prayers have been answered. The answer's on the way, but there's a spiritual battle that's going on that we cannot see. There's angels and demons. They're just, I mean, it's a non-stop, it's continually going, because, you know, the devil does not want your prayers answered. That's just period. That's all there is to it. He don't want nothing to do with God. He don't want you to have nothing to do with God. And if God's going to do something for you, he's going to try his best to block it, disrupt it. He's going to cause trouble in your life. He's going to try everything he can to persuade you to turn your back on God and give up and say, you know, well, I prayed and nothing's going to happen. You know, I don't understand this, I don't understand that. And that's what the devil wants. Him and his demons are fighting with all they got to try to block every prayer that you pray, and so your answer will not come to you. But if you just hold on, and sometimes it takes like Daniel. Sometimes we gotta push the plate aside and do some fasting, do some more praying, and hopefully God will have to send some more angels to help that one angel to get through to you and bring the answer to your prayers. So I'm just here saying all this just to say, don't give up. Don't ever give up on your prayers. When you pray, you believe it, you spoke it, the words have been recorded, and you just keep praying, keep believing. You know, I've prayed prayers, and it took years for them to come to pass. Now, sometimes we forget, because we want everything now. We're in a now hurry up in society. You know, we want our food heated up now. That's why we got microwaves. You know, who wants to wait 25, 30 minutes to heat something up in the oven when you can do it for 3 to 5 minutes in the microwave? We're hurry, hurry, hurry. We want everything right then, right there. But it ain't the way God works. God works on his own timing. And sometimes we don't understand that. We get impatient. But in God's time, which he knows is the perfect time to answer your prayer, he'll do it. So don't give up. I mean, I'll just use my dad for an example. We prayed, my dad gets saved, you know. And he did. I mean, my dad got saved 10 years ago, so I've been praying for 40 years, and it finally come to pass. Some things, you know, it's just, I don't know, I don't understand why it took so long, but I know there was a lot of spiritual battles that happened in between that time. And you know, just don't give up. Please don't give up. Don't ever give up on God, because God sure ain't never give up on you. He's doing things for you that you won't ever know about. You know, one of the things that I do when I pray is I thank God. You know, God, I thank you for this day. I thank you for your blessings on me. I thank you for things that I see, and I thank you for things that I don't see. I thank you for things that I know, and I thank you for things that I'll never know. Because God is working and doing things that'll help me on down the road. It's like one of these videos. This video right here could be on YouTube for 5 years and not matter to anybody till one person who's in a time of need can watch this, and God's just going to speak to them in that moment of their life to let them know that, hey, just hang on. You know, God could set things in motion today that affect your life years down the road. You know, it's he's good. He's a chess master. You know, he knows how to move this piece and that piece and this piece and checkmate, your problem solved. So don't ever give up on your prayers. Don't ever, just keep praying. Keep adding to them. Just whenever you think you got spare time, or you're standing around and it just enters your mind, just stop and say a prayer. You know, the Bible says we should be having a continual prayer. Just pray continually, over and over and over, all throughout the day, and that is achievable. It's hard to believe, but you know, you can do it. It just takes a lot of practice. But I just want to encourage you, don't give up praying. Don't give up on your prayers. Don't give up on God. I want to pray for you right now. Father, we love you and thank you for all your blessings. Thank you for your hand of protection over us, protecting that family. I mean, I know they lost everything, but they didn't lose her. You know, they all come out of there okay, and things can be replaced. But just praise, thank you for protecting their lives. Father, just pray that I pray that you'll help that person out there tonight that's struggling, they're ready to give up. They've tried and tried, and it seems like their prayers haven't been answered. I want to pray, God, that you'll move on those people. I want to pray, God, that you'll help them to understand that, you know, help is on the way. It may not get here when they want it, but it's going to get here right on time. Because you're an on-time God, and we know that everything works out good in your time. And we may not understand it, but one of these days we will. And just pray that you just be with these people and encourage them, lift them up, let them know that you're there, that you love them, that you are working for them, and that you're there to help them. Because you're our Father, and we're your children. And, you know, I'll do whatever I can to help my kids. And I know you're going to do everything you can to help us. And we just praise you for that, Lord. I thank you for it. And I just hope you just be with all those that's mourning tonight, today, or whenever they're watching this. I pray, God, you just comfort them. You help them, lift them up. Those that are fighting sickness right now, God, I know all this flu and the crud people calls it, and all this is going around, and there are all kinds of people catching pneumonia and stomach bugs, and it's a mess. And I just pray, God, that you bring healing to every person that's listening to this prayer. And God, just pray that you just help those that are still out there in a fight. It's for their marriage, for their children, maybe for their parents. Just whatever this spiritual struggle, this whatever's going on in their life, I pray, God, that you'll just meet them right there. You'll take care of the situation. You'll take charge. And God, that you'll just tell them in their hearts to stand back and watch you move, and watch you work. God, I just pray that you just continue to help all those hurricane people. I can't imagine. They're all living in tents and stuff, and it's down to zero. It's cold. And God, I just pray that you be with them, Lord, and help them. And hopefully they can get the roads built, where they can get the trucks in there to start building houses back, and, you know, they can get supplies in there where they need to get these people back in their homes. Just pray that you bless them and help them. And pray for all those out on the West Coast that's lost their homes due to the fire that I've heard about. I just pray, God, that you just help us, Lord. People need you from coast to coast. And just, God, just pray that you just move across our nation, and you'll bless, you'll heal, you'll forgive, and you'll do great wonders from sea to shining sea. And Lord, we praise you for it, we'll thank you for it, we'll give you all the glory and praise in Jesus' name, amen. But just thank y'all for hanging out with me. I don't know how long this video is going to be till I get it edited, but I'm sure it's way too long. I've been told from family people that they didn't know I could talk this much. I'm a quiet person. Anywhere I go, I'm the guy that sits in the corner, don't say a word. But yeah, I still got a lot of work to do in here, a lot of straightening, and a lot of figuring out how I want to set it all up, and some things that just needs to go. And that's the hard part, I guess. What am I going to cull out? And but anyway, we'll get it. We'll get this thing up, hopefully here very soon, because I got some projects I want to work on, and it's hard to do when you can't move around. But we almost got a fourth of the shop done, and this part over here in the woodworking shop, that'll be a whole lot easier because there ain't nothing sentimental over there. It's just scrap pieces of wood that I'm too honored to get rid of. Which we'll probably have a hot dog roast one night. We'll go out there and burn blocks of wood, and I'll quit saving them things. But anyway, I just appreciate y'all stopping by and hanging out with me, and hope I got to show you something that was interesting. And as we go along, I'll show you some more interesting stuff, and hopefully one of these days I can give you a full shop tour and a Belknap museum, whatever you want to call it, and hopefully it'll look good. But hope y'all have a great weekend coming up, and just pray God blesses every one of you. We'll see you on the next video.